Hello, beautiful beauties, my journey lock fam, my handsome men that are locked. What's up? What's up? I am here to update you on my 5-year lock journey and the things that I've learned. I hope that there's something you can take from this. So, without further ado, let's get started. What's up, beautiful lock people and aspiring lock people? Welcome to this video. Today we are going to talk about my 5-year lock journey and the things that I've learned and want to share with you. What's up to my journey fam? I am glad to have all of you here and any guest or returning guest. If you are returning, girl, what you waiting on? You might as well click the subscribe button and join me in the journey fam. Let me introduce myself to anybody that's new here. Those that are in my journey fam and that are returning guests probably already know me, but just in case you don't, my name is Tiffany and my journey fam is what I call my family on here. And so if you'd like to join, definitely join us. I love my family and I hope they love me too, but I love to educate people on the things that I feel like I didn't know getting my locks and while having locks. The information just wasn't out there, and so I decided to share. I started from Perm, and so that is a very traditional way of starting Sisterlocks, and so I wanted to share all about that journey and going forward. So I actually started my journey on January 26, 2019, and I started with 407 locks. Guys, I am down to 401 locks now. That is how many that have been either cut or that I've lost from thinning, stretching out, etc. So still, as you can see, I have a head full, and so it has not made a drastic difference, but I am grateful I did not get them super thin because my hair is so fragile and I probably would have lost a lot more by now if they were thinner. So I'm glad they're thicker, and even despite that, I have lost some. So let's get updated on the things that I feel like I've learned along the way of this 5 years that I want you to know about, so maybe you can avoid some of the things that I didn't and protect your beautiful crown. Okay guys, the first thing is kind of 1 and 2 kind of go together for me. The first thing is stressing, and so if you are stressing, it does affect your whole body physiologically. It affects you like from the inside to the outside. That's when we start having all kind of health problems and hair loss and hair shedding and all those things. It does affect your crown. So if you are stressing, I need you to do some stress management. That is something that is a work in progress, guys. It's something I have to manage and remanage all the time. Okay. And so if there's a stressful job that's stressing you out, you might start to see your hair starting to thin. You may see it starting to shed. You may like be messing with it, which is what my number 2 is. So I need you to, like, if it's a difficult job, maybe finding another job or something that brings you more joy. If it's, bills or money and finances, like what more can I do to help lessen the stress on myself or bring more income in? If it's a person in a relationship, maybe you consider, is this person worth having? Is this person causing me stress and causing me to have all these different kind of, bad symptoms, including maybe hair loss or hair thinning? And so just managing your stress, guys. 2 different products I'd like to show you that you can also use to manage your stress. And yeah, let's take a look at those. Okay guys, so if you are having some stress in your life and you're like, I need a little help managing it, and you don't want to actually take medication, then you can look into things like these. They sell these on Amazon. They sell these at Target, Walmart, almost any place you can go. This one's for stress, and they are little purple chewies. You chew 2 a day, and it is to kind of mellow you out. And then they have these Ollie Happy gummy worms, and they are so yummy, y'all. You have to remember that it is not candy. It is actually to help you with stress. And so they look almost like those little gummy worms you eat that come at the gas station or Walmart or something like that. And as you can see, I do use them, right? I use them every day. As a therapist, I recommend them to my clients all the time as well. And speaking of therapy, if you're going through something that is difficult, make sure you go get a therapist. If you're going through relationship issues, go get a couples therapist and see if you can work that stuff out and kind of get back on a level playing field so that your body and your hair is not taking the hit. The second thing that kind of goes with that is the HIH, hands in hair syndrome. We all have it. These little things are neat. They feel cool, all that kind of stuff. It's different, especially if you come from perm, wigs, or braids. It is totally different. When you first get your locks, it is a natural inclination to want to touch, run your hands through. As they get longer, you want to run your hands through. You want to touch them. You want to feel them, y'all. It becomes habitual and you want to do it, and you do it even like not even knowing you're doing it all the time. But if you're stressed, what I found was the more stressed I was, the more I pulled and tugged and touched. It became almost like, if you will, a stress ball. And as I was doing that, I'm also putting tension and stress on my roots and on the shaft of the lock and thinning them out as well. And so if you can, you can feel your babies a little bit while you're like spraying them with water, whatever, but try to avoid forming that habit of touching and pulling and tugging on them. It can become like a nervous tick type of thing, a stress relief type of thing, or sometimes you just like them and love them so much that you can't stop feeling them. But I think if you just don't start that bad habit or break yourself from that habit, it would be really good for you, because it does put unnecessary tension on the hair and you will start to see it affect the locks. I definitely think that I saw that over time. And if I am stressed or something, that is one of the things, or even bored, I will find myself doing, is messing with or playing with locks. So definitely watch out for that. The third thing that I have noticed about myself and learned along the way is that no matter how long your locks get, there is still the inclination to want to compare and not fully embrace the journey. It is so easy to do, guys. No matter how long it gets, no matter how old you are, at 41 years old, still comparing my hair to others. I see ladies' hair all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, her locks are so beautiful. Oh, I wish mine looked that even. Or I wish all the things. And yet I'm still getting compliments all the time, every day, even on my worst days, even when I feel like I want to combine them, or I don't even know about them anymore. They're getting on my nerves or putting me through things. I still get compliments. And so just learning to embrace your journey, however they look, whatever they look like. I do think that there's a certain amount that we can control, such as if you can find the right loctician for you that can keep the grid and the lock looking uniform and the same, and your maintenance is the same. I think that definitely does help. That is almost like finding the right man or the right therapist. It is hard to do, okay? But if you can find the right one, it is worth it, because then your locks can kind of have that nice uniform look that you're looking for, and you may not compare or have as many things to compare. But I will just say that it still happens. No matter how long my locks have gotten, I still find myself comparing them to others. And so really learning to just embrace them how they are and what they're going to be, and just knowing like, okay, you still get compliments even though they don't look like hers or hers. They're all beautiful and your journey is still beautiful. And if you want to change something about it, then change it. But just knowing that your journey is not going to look like anybody else's, and keeping that in mind even as they grow out. I don't know if the expectation changed somewhere and I thought that it was going to do something different, but I still found myself one day like, man, I wish mine looked like hers. And like, what are you thinking? Like, they look exactly however they were needing to look, or they're going to look, and it's okay, and people make little comments about different things, like, that can kind of make you self-conscious or whatever. But at the end of the day, your locks are still beautiful. They are yours. Nobody has the right to tell you anything about your locks or make you feel any kind of way. And just love your locks for what they are. Make them what you want them to be, or help them to be what you want them to be. But also just love yours and just soak in those awesome compliments, because they're going to come regardless. The next thing that I had to think about as I thought about my journey over the 5 years was like, don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. As your locks grow out and they get longer, you no longer have to babe them. I don't have to band them when I wash. I don't have to worry about slippage and all those different things that you have to worry about when they're baby locks. You start to feel real comfortable. and you stop doing the things that you were doing before to make sure they were all nourished and taken care of. And, just like it is when it's a baby, when you have an actual baby, you like all this attention, and as they get toddlers, you're like, girl, go over there and sit down. It's kind of like that with your babies on your hair too, as they get more mature and longer, and you get busier and life is lifing you and all the things that could be happening to and with you, you start to forget that, hey, you need to moisturize your hair, you need to spray your hair, you need to wash your hair, you need to do all the things. I think that over the years, I started to get busier, go through maybe like breakups, friends, raising my daughter, businesses, just stress of relationships in general, if you are with somebody, all kinds of things. And you just get so consumed with those things that you wake up and you're like, this hairstyle is so freeing, it lets me do anything. But you still have to take care of it and not be lazy. And I think I'll find myself like, oh yeah, I need to spray it. And I don't spray it, and the bottle of water is right there. And I get up and I fluff it out and I keep going. And so don't be lazy. Keep your routine up. Get you some kind of routine going, a wash routine, a moisture routine. If you have a partner or a spouse or a kid, get them to, grease your scalp for you if you don't want to grease your own. Put stuff on it to keep it moisturized, protect it in the summer and protect it in the winter. Like, do the things that you were doing and you were so excited to do when you first got them that over time kind of gets laxed and you forget to do or just neglect to do. So something super important I had to start reminding myself of, and I started to see it affect my locks, and that's when I was like, okay, I need to do something. But don't get to that point where you see it start to affect the lock before you do it. Just go ahead and create your routine that you keep up with. The next thing I learned was to know what works for your hair. And this is in regards to styling. You see all these beautiful styles online and they are so beautiful and so neat, but are they for you? And I began to think like, man, my hair is so plain Jane. Every day, the same 2 or 3 styles. I need to be trying to do something with it. But at the end of the day, doing something with it didn't make me happy. It didn't make me feel good in terms of like, I have chronic migraines. And so any bit of pressure or tension will activate my migraine really easily. So styling is usually very tight and very like, when you see them on Instagram, y'all, it is so pretty, but that mess is tight. Like it's some elbow grease put in there to get that stuff tied down and looking great. One, it's going to be a waste of money for me because I'm going to take it down because it's going to hurt. I'm tender-headed. At 41 years old, we tender-headed still. And also anything tight like that will make me, one, not get great sleep, and also will activate my migraine, and I mean immediately. And when I get them, they last for days. So maybe special occasions, something like that would be good, but something that I'm going to keep up is probably a no. I mean, I could probably bet, I think I have gotten home and taken down a hairstyle. All those bobby pins and rubber bands, and you just got it done so it already hurts, and now it's hurting and it's tight. Just, you got to know it works for you. For the women that aren't tender-headed, this probably literally works for them. And I think it's so beautiful and so neat. I am practicing on doing low impact, but hairstyles that don't hurt, but still give a little something different than just my deep part swoop over. So know what works for your hair, and don't feel like you have to follow the masses because it's being done. It's beautiful. It looks good. I'm pretty sure it's something that keeps them from having to do anything to their hair for quite a while, but does it work for you? What works for you? Go with what works and feels good to and for you. And then if you have a stylist, making sure they know the things that you do suffer from so that maybe they won't do it as tight if they are doing an actual style. So, but I just learned that hairstyles are just not for me. I've tried it a couple of times and I'm like, I got migraine now. I can't sleep well at night. I'm sleeping on my face. Like my head is just all over the place. Like I'm going to take it down. I just wasted however much money. So it's a no for me, but whatever works for you, works for you. And if you can wear hairstyles, girl, I envy you. You are lucky. But for the plainer girls who just like, I'm just going to wear it like swooped over, maybe a little ponytail here and there, do not feel like you're missing out on something, and don't feel bad because you can't do it. If it doesn't work for us, it just doesn't work for us. So It's okay. Girl, it's growing. It is growing. You may not feel like it, you may not think it is, but it is growing. The best thing you can do is take pictures. Now, don't fill up your whole memory card, your whole phone with just hair pictures, but every now and then, make sure you do a length check and take pictures. You will be able to look back over time and really see how much is grown if you look from this year to last year. Now, you can't be looking every week now. It's not going to show you nothing every week. You're going to have to like wait a little while and then look back. What I did, guys, was I chose different length measures. So I have a tattoo that's here, and so you have your ear first, and then I'm like, okay, they're down to my ear. And then once I got to my tattoo, I'm like, okay, they're hitting my tattoo. And then I use my bra strap in the back as like, okay, when they reach my bra strap, I know I'm doing something. Well, now when they're down, they're actually touching my bra strap, and I'm like, ooh, girl, we doing something. So pick something on your body that you can like measure length checks by, especially my newbies. So if you're starting from like little bitties, you know, when you first get like your little mushroom, you're doing something. When you get to your ear, you get to your chin, you get to your, you know, your shoulders here. And then what else can you measure by after that? I really could not see it for myself until one, it felt like bugs was on me and it wasn't no bug on me, and I'm like, okay, that's my hair way down here. What? That's my hair? Yes, that. Or turning around in the back and I can feel my hair down to my bra straps. I was like, oh wow, it has really grown, because I remember when it was just at my tattoo. So pick something on your body that kind of signifies like certain lengths for you, and then also take a lot of pictures. Those two things will definitely help you see that it's growing. It is hard to see on an everyday basis, and it feels like at a point you get stunted, but it actually is growing. If you're taking care of it, then it is really truly going to grow, and you will see a big difference in a faster amount of time. So pictures and landmarks. Get on a schedule and stick with it with your reties. I know that some of us go really long periods of time. Some of us don't give it no time at all, and we're going like way too soon. I learned that for my hair, I learned the sweet spot. I guess that's what I want to tell you today, is learn the sweet spot for your hair. You don't want to go too long, because what I found for my hair was if I go too long and stretch it out, so do my locks. They start stretching out and not being as thick as they could be. When they're retying, whether it's a professional or I'm doing it at home, I notice more gapping when I have a long amount to do. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if it's the technique or what it is, but even going to a professional, I'll get home and sometimes feel like a little gap in the lock where it wasn't retied somewhere. So, and then I'm mad at myself, because I'm like, if I'd only done it sooner, that wouldn't happen, because it wouldn't have been so much to retie. You don't want to do the opposite either and retie too soon, because then you're putting unnecessary tension on your hair consistently, trying to keep it looking nice and neat. That can, especially if you've got thin or weaker hair, you don't want to do that, because you're putting too much stress on your locks and thinning out your locks possibly even more, or maybe there's going to be consequences in the long run. So you want to find that sweet spot that works for you. Mine is about 6 to 7 weeks. So I was going like every month, and that was too soon. I barely got any new growth. So that means I'm just giving you money, honey. I'm just giving you money to be giving it to you, because some of them, she was like, well, I didn't even have to lock some of them, you know, or barely any new growth. And so then I'm not going to even see my growth as soon either, but also I'm just giving away money. So then I went to about 6 weeks, and I'm like, okay, I have a little bit more new growth, which is not bad. In 7 weeks, about 7 weeks, I've got a little bit more new growth going on. So about 6 to 7 weeks is about the sweet spot for me. I don't go like every 4 weeks. I go about like every 6 weeks is about the sweet spot. I've got just enough to where it's starting to look disrespectful, and I need it to look good because I'm doing videos, and I'm on the camera all day doing my regular work. And so knowing your sweet spot is going to save you money, because these locticians will charge you extra if you come in there with too much hair. You don't want to put too much tension on it unnecessarily by getting it done too soon, and you don't want to stretch it out too long to where you're messing up your grid. You know, you got maybe potentially causing holes to be in your locks because you've got so much to tie up, and you just want to find the sweet spot that works for your locks where they can thrive, not cause more damage on either side. So find the sweet spot that works for you, and don't worry too much about like it's starting to look a ways, because if you're worried about that, then that means you're going really, really often and you could cause more damage than you want to. So find your sweet spot. Okay guys, and for me, probably the last one is going to be, I learned that I had to kick up my water intake and vitamins. I am not a vitamin girl. I am not a water girl. I don't know where you are. I'm in Texas. So in Texas, we are big sweet tea drinkers. It is so yummy. It's like my kryptonite. I can drink it all day long, which means I'm not getting the proper water intake. And so you hear it all the time. It's like taking care of your body inside and out. You have to drink your water. You have to. So we're misting them on the outside and we're watering them from the inside. So I definitely had to learn to love water again and what it was going to take to make me love water again. And I tried different things like flavored water. I've tried sparkling water. I didn't really like the sparkling water as much. The flavored water is pretty good. I've tried infused water. I learned that I don't like lukewarm water. I like my water to be cool. But just drinking water is a habit. It's a habitual thing you have to form. And so I had to have a little self-control and not pick up the sweet tea so much and the flavored teas because my body craves it. But drink water and then drink tea with my dinners. And so kicking up my water intake, and when I was taking vitamins, I definitely saw a big jump in my lock growth and people complimenting and saying, man, your locks have really grown. So make sure that you are drinking your water, especially as summer approaches. It's getting hot anyway, so you need to anyway. But keeping your hair misted with the water so that it is not drying out in the brutal summer heat, especially if you're in Texas, because baby, this heat don't play, okay? And then keeping your water intake so that you are nourishing them from the inside out. Hair vitamins, hair and nail vitamins for people that are taking prenatal vitamins, any vitamins that can give your hair strength and nutrients is going to be a good thing, especially, well, I mean, for any stage, from the beginning all the way to however many years. I think it's just good to do. That is it for today, guys. I hope that one of these tips has helped you. I'm open to answering any questions that you have down in the description box, or you can go over to Instagram, which a lot of people do, and DM me there and we can talk there. I hope, again, that something has helped you. If you have tips and tricks or things that you've learned along your journey, please do share for other people that are here for the same thing. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.